Own your own annuity, that's the idea, and we'll explore it here. Most people don't realize this is even an option. They're usually shown just one path. They give their money to an institution and receive a monthly payment, and they hope it lasts. But there's another way to structure it. It's the same money, the same dollars, but you get a very different outcome. One path ends with a final payment, and the other ends with income producing ownership. And this lesson will show you how that works. And it starts with a principle someone understood long ago, Albert Einstein. These are the two choices, same money, different structure. One path rents income and one path owns the asset. At year 20, the value is 1.89 million and the other is zero. Now we'll work backward, and this presentation shows how each of these paths is structured. Einstein understood this principle, but most people do not. Institutions understand compounding deeply, and they build systems around it. They let time do the work. But individuals usually are sold products just built on it. They receive payments, but they don't own the engine. And here's the difference. Compounding doesn't reward effort, it rewards ownership. Now, here's a question. When Einstein's wife received her divorce settlement from his Pulitzer Prize, what do you think he advised her to do? Buy an annuity or buy an apartment building? This is Edmund Halley. Most people know him for a comet, but his greatest work was something else. In the late 1600s, Halley gained access to rare records from a city called Breslau, now modern Poland. They listed births and deaths by age, and Halley organized these records. This was revolutionary. People did not die randomly, patterns appeared, and from this, Halley built the first actuarial table, a way to estimate lifespan. Once lifespan could be estimated, income could be promised over time, and that math became the foundation of insurance, pensions, and annuities today. So who figured this out? It wasn't everyday investors, it was institutions. In 1762 in London, England, the Equitable Life Assurance Society was founded, the first company to systematically use actuarial science. They applied probability to human lifespan. They priced life insurance. They priced annuities. They combined time, math, and pooling. And this is where modern insurance begins. Institutions learned how to compound long before the public ever did. The investor contributes $250,000. Commission paid up front 2% or $5,000. The portfolio earns roughly 8% or $19,000 a year, and the retiree receives $15,000 a year. The difference of $4,400, the spread, is invested in bonds, mortgage, commercial real estate, and apartment buildings. Mortality tables determine profitability, and small changes matter. They make big impacts over time. Now let's make this real. Meet our retired couple. Both are 65 and they've saved $250,000. They're not trying to get rich, they just don't want to run out of money. Their goal is simple, reliable monthly income, low risk tolerance, and peace of mind. But now they face a decision. This is the fixed annuity option. They invest $250,000. The insurance company keeps the capital, and in return, they receive income. $1,250 every month. Reliable, predictable, no decisions required, no ownership involved. The annuity works exactly as designed. It pays them while it lasts, and when it ends, it ends. No asset remains, no value is passed on. This payment is fixed, does not increase. Inflation continues at about 3% per year. Prices rise, but the payment stays the same. After 10 years, that $1,250 a month buys less, about $930 in today's dollars, and after 20 years, even less, about $690 per month. The inflation doesn't reduce your payment, it reduces what your payment can buy. First, their check shrinks, not in dollars, but in value. $930 today, then $690 later on. Then prices rise. That $6 item costs $8, then $10. So they're hit two ways. Their income buys less and everything costs more. Nothing broke, nothing failed. This is simply how inflation works. Let's rewind the clock. What if they own the income? Same money, but a different structure. The $250,000 is invested not in a contract, but into an income producing asset, professionally managed, day to day handled. The income can grow, the asset is still theirs, ownership is retained. Now, let's take a look at a sample building. They invest $250,000. The building cost $1 million. Professional management handles all the day-to-day operations for a 6% fee, already included. Now here's the key metric, the gross rent multiplier. That's the price divided by annual rent, and it tells us how hard the building works. If we keep it between 8 and 9, these projections hold. Cash flow works, depreciation helps, the loan gets paid down, inflation lifts the rents. Together, those forces compound, and that's how ownership creates a different outcome. Let's fast forward 10 years. This is the same building with the same structure, but the rents have increased 3% per year, and the expenses have also risen at 3%. Nothing aggressive, nothing complex. As a result, annual income has grown from $126,000 to $169,000. Cash flow has increased too to about $37,000 annually, and the total annual yield has improved. It's now up to 28.9%. No changes to management, no change to leverage, just time, inflation, and ownership all working together. Now let's fast forward 20 years. This is the same building under the same ownership, but the annual rent has grown to $227,000 a year. Now using the same gross multiplier, an 8.3, the building is now worth $1,889,000. Along the way, they refinanced. They took out $100,000 in cash, but the cash was tax deferred until the sale because it's a loan. Even after that, cash flow continued to grow to about $70,000 annually. This is nothing speculative, nothing complex. It's just ownership, time, and compounding all working together. Over time, the building grows. Its value reaches $1,889,000, and then the owners pass away. The property transfers to their 3 children, 1/3 each, and the ownership transfers also, plus the income. And here's the key. The tax basis steps up to current market value. Decades of gains reset. No capital gains tax owed on the past appreciation. This is how wealth is transferred. It's not by selling, but by owning. Einstein was right. Compounding follows ownership. It doesn't reward effort, it rewards those who own the assets. And he said it clearly. Compounding is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. Institutions understood this early. Most people were sold products built on it, and even Einstein's wife understood. When she received her divorce settlement, she bought apartment buildings. She owned the income. The lesson here, don't rent income, own it. Own your own annuity. If this makes sense, here's how to start. Download the follow along calculator and get comfortable with the numbers. Next, call a local realtor. Look for deals where the gross rent multiplier is between 8 and 9. And if the gross rent multiplier is right, the rest of the structure kind of follows. Then run each deal you look at through the calculator, research property management companies, and interview a few before you buy your building. After closing, you simply hand it off. You don't manage the building, you own the income. And that's how you own your own annuity.